Hey everyone, welcome to the TST Podgecast, All Vibes. We're following it up last episode with the new one, and we have a special guest here today. Hey Mudman,
Hey, Professor, how you going?
doing good, doing good as usual. It's me, the professor, with Cautionfun. How are you doing today, Cautionfun?
Oh, doing great. Happy to be here.
Yeah,
Lots to cover.
definitely a lot of things to cover, and I think we got some pretty good feedback from the first ever podcast last time, so we're definitely excited to come back again and hopefully provide some entertainment here. So we'll jump into the topics. Yeah, as a Kasha Fund, we have a lot to do, so a lot to talk about. So
Hey, but first and foremost,
yeah,
what happened? I wasn't the special guest last podcast. Did I get fired?
I'll let Kasha Fund explain that one. oh,
You're always a special guest.
Man.
yeah, the first of
All
many
right, so I
special
guess we have
guests.
topics. I'll let the hosts take over. I'm just
Oh,
a guest. I don't know what's going on.
hey, if you want, do you want to run this? We could do a switcheroony and let you run this if you want.
No, I'm just joking around. I'm not qualified.
Oh, you're more than qualified. But sure, yeah, we'll jump in. We'll start with recapping the many events that happened in the Vibes TCG the month of February. There was a lot since the last time we talked about. We'll start with the first one, just typical updates from the game and the dev team. Dev updates. Um, there was a couple of matchmaking updates. We'll call them, one and two, because there was a pretty big one, the first one, which limited Dummy Thick to play against maybe just Dummy Thick and Chonk, I believe. What do you guys think about that one?
I think that was a great change.
Yeah, I think it worked well when they made the change. I believe that was in the midst of a pack bonanza
Right.
or a similar event, and so you had a lot of players playing a lot of games. So there were really no issues with regards to finding a match when you wanted to sit down and play. That said, after the event ended, I believe there was a brief moment in time where those bands were still very tight, and there were some people running into 4 or 5 minute queues, and that resulted in change number two there. If you want to fill in the audience.
Yeah, yeah. So I think change number two widened the bands a little bit more to allow for lesser queues, which I think I think it might be where we're at right now. And I think it's good that the team is showing they're very fluid with adjusting the needs of the community in terms of making sure the queue times aren't getting out of hand, along with balancing competition levels.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point there. Yeah, just the fact that they're thinking about it and making these changes in an effort to make it better. Yeah, it's a good sign.
Yeah, and it definitely worked. It gets old playing the starter decks over and over. Like winning is fun, but you play against the yellow starter deck enough times, it gets pretty boring.
I definitely enjoyed the deck diversity a bit more after the changes. That's for sure.
Yeah, right on, right on. And I think other updates the team made, they added languages. I'm not sure if you guys are fluent in other languages. I didn't check the other languages, but I heard they added was it Russian and Chinese or something. So they added a bunch of languages. Not sure if you guys had a chance to check that out.
I haven't.
Yeah,
I'm sure everything is grammatically correct, but I wouldn't know.
yeah, for sure. Not happy for others, but yeah, I'm still working on English.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes me no speak well.
I don't talk no good. It's fine.
Yeah, and then other updates. They fixed the timer. I think they were trying to fix roping, and this was interesting. The term roping. I thought this was specific to Gods Unchained, but it seems that when see people talk in the Vibes Discord about roping, they seem to get it. So I don't know if roping is a is that because from
That's
Hearthstone actually? Because there's a rope in
Yeah,
it's
Hearthstone.
yeah,
Hearthstone,
I know
yeah.
it as a Hearthstone term because
Oh, okay.
their timer is a literal rope that's burning.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's like a
Okay.
fuse. So yeah.
Okay. So my bad. It's actually was a Hearthstone term. Okay, so that's why people got roping. I was for some reason thought it was specific to GU. So I was like, oh, people get what roping is. Then I recalled just now, literally when I explained it, that when I used to play Hearthstone, it was a rope. You're right, Mudman.
Yeah, no, like, from the Gods Unchained perspective, like years ago, Gods Unchained had essentially the exact same rope, except it was blue and had less detail. So it looked less like a rope, but it matched Hearthstone's exactly.
Oh, okay, okay. So what do you guys think of the timer change?
Were you there for like the very first timer change that was like semi-reverted or adjusted like the same day?
No, it was not. Explain.
Oh man, it was fast, and you were heavily penalized for like taking until the end of the timer to make your actions. It felt it felt a little bit like blitz chess, uh,
Oh,
and it took me like a couple of turns to get used to. Like literally each of them, the first like 4 cycles, it was like, oh man, I have to go. But once I got used to it, I was loving it. I thought it was fantastic. That said, a lot of people were not so stoked on it, so they adjusted it to make it a bit more forgiving later that same day, if I recall correctly.
Yeah,
yeah.
and like ultimately, I think it's pretty good. I think it's a thorny situation, like all in all, just because like the nature of like each player has a turn, but like sometimes the order of the turns change, and then there's the action time and response to each action. There's so many opportunities to look away from your computer and rope by accident. So like like I think they definitely helped a lot too with the all the various sound prompts. I know I usually almost always play with my computer on mute, but I played with sound the other day, and it prompts you every time you have to hit the space bar. So they have that going for them, but like it's the roping problem is definitely going to be persistent with all the various action times and turn changes.
Maybe that can be the penalty there. If you rope too often, they won't let you queue into your next game unless you turn sound on.
That'd be. I don't think that's a good rule, but that's neat.
Could be fun. Yeah, no, I definitely prefer snappier games. I understand why some people want a longer timer for sure. I think in a perfect world, maybe you have like 2 different queues, one with like a faster timer, one with a slower timer. But I mean, that's you definitely want to wait as long as possible. We would need
Well, yeah,
thousands of concurrent
yeah,
players
the
to
queue times
justify
would be
that.
insane.
Yeah, that's funny. My comment was there's sound. I'm literally, usually at 0 or 1% sound, so I didn't even know there was sound prompts or cues. But I think the biggest issue with the timer too was I think the Bismo Bunkus players. There was a big complaint from them because I think it takes longer to play that deck on some certain turns, and they were getting burned out in terms of the timer, right?
Yeah, like I think with the like specifically ascending penguin, if someone could just tell Wax Punk he's gonna get 10 more seconds, that's all he wants. He's in every channel. Just give him 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think there was like an actual issue pertaining to Bunkus where after you make your selections in the ice to play your Bunkus, uh, the timer is meant to reset at that point, so you have more time to continue with your turn. That said, it only registers sometimes. I know I've heard a bunch of Bizbunk players say that like it registers every time if you end up discarding a what
Mm-hmm.
off the top of your deck there. But yeah, as I understand it, there were some turns where it wasn't resetting after they played their Bunkus, which didn't allow them time to play a second Bunkus or ended
The
up
Bismo.
yeah, or anything kind of following up there. So yeah, that said, I'm sure once that's fixed, like there should definitely be enough time in the turn to like choose the 12 cards in the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Yeah, I imagine.
right. Yeah, and then speaking of upgrades the team has been doing, they also worked on a couple things I wanted to mention. There's a new UI now, which I like the layout of. It's very clear, um, and then that new UI added a direct challenge slash play a friend feature. What do you guys think of
Yeah,
that?
awesome.
Yeah, I think it's great.
I thought it would be a good bit longer before we got any new features like that. So yeah, super pleasant surprise. Enables so much as far as testing and future tournament preparation, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's perfect timing because like we're lucky because we live really close by. We could test IRL if we wanted to, but like for most people, like you're gonna have to play a friend if you want to do actual testing. And I'm very surprised they were able to do it so quickly.
Have you guys tried the player friend feature yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, same thing. I tried it with Rock Metal right live on their stream, and it was pretty intuitive and easy to set up and do. So yeah, shout out to the team for putting that in quickly.
Yep. Yeah, and those seasonal play any card events where you have access to
Oh yeah.
unlimited amounts of every card. I mean, that's going to be just invaluable. And honestly, like I wouldn't be too upset if that was just an inherent aspect of play a friend, where you can use any card.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Seeing as the results don't matter, that would just again open up further exploration.
Yeah, and that would be great for like online tournaments as well. Then you'd have no one complaining about collection disparities.
Yeah.
Sounds like a hashtag suggestion.
Ooh. Might have to go into hashtag feature requests, make a hashtag suggestion.
Yeah, definitely. And then the other thing that wanted to give a shout out to the team is the bug bounty. They had this one pesky bug with I think it was like cards penguins with act abilities were not able to act sometimes, and they put out a bounty and it was claimed quickly, and I believe they fixed it. I haven't run into it. Have you guys?
No, I haven't run into that bug in a while.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. I mean, just taking that initiative and employing the community in a sense, giving people an incentive to help contribute to the game's development. Just more things you like to see.
Yeah, because I think even us before the bounty, if you run a penguin with that ability and you run into that bug, I mean, we were keeping an eye on trying to figure out how to recreate it. So that extra incentive definitely aligns with the community.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Another update: Epic Packs. Have you guys dabbled in the Epic Packs?
Yep.
Not technically. I've gotten that cool bug where your regular pack looks like an epic pack, which is always exciting. Yeah. But I've yet to purchase any epic packs.
Even your 90% discounted first pack?
Yes, even that one.
Man. Oh yeah, I bid on that immediately, and I was surprised at what I opened, and then I reread the announcement, and sure enough, I saw what I wanted to see rather than what they said. I was expecting it to be. I'm only missing one card in my whole Digital Vibes collection, and that's Yellow Mega Penguin. So I was like, oh wow, 90% off a pack that has like a guaranteed Yellow Mega Penguin.
Right.
And I cracked it, and it was a dummy thick disco ball. And I was like, I thought I had like 2 of those already. And sure enough, I did. But yeah, it's for like it's not just like unique cards, it's like play sets of unique cards, and that also counts for like holo variants. So like even if you have 4 or more copies of a base card, you can open a holo version of that card. So yeah, the duplication protection aspect snuck by me a little bit. But yeah, even after understanding how they worked, I did get 2 more. Still have yet to open a Yellow Mega Penguin from a pack, but we move on.
So to talk about how this works a little bit more detail. So let's say, Cautionfun, that you have every single card in base shine, not foils, base shine, every single card, 4 copies each, and then you have 0 copies of Yellow Mega Penguin. So then in that case, will the next pack be a guaranteed Yellow Mega Penguin, or does it take into account the foils?
So it could be a Yellow Mega Penguin. It could also be a foil variant of any other epic. Assuming
have you gotten that confirmed? Because the last time I checked, I don't remember who posted it, but they said first they check all counts, like whether it be shiny or not. So if you had 2 shiny dummy thick disco balls and 2 regulars, it would count that as 4, and it wouldn't give you another dummy thick disco ball until you had 4 copies of everything else.
Yeah.
So in the scenario the professor recommended, your next 4 packs would be all Yellow Mega Penguins, and then you would be open to like any potential shiny.
Gotcha. Yeah, I had 2 normal dummy thicks and 2 hollow dummy thicks, and opened a third regular.
that shouldn't have happened, which was
Gotcha.
confirmed a bug when
Yeah.
you asked about it.
So yeah, and yeah. Also since then, yeah, when I got 2 more there, I got green Mega Penguin base, which was my 4th copy of that. Went from 3 to 4, and then I got another dummy thick disco ball, but it was a hollow.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm still. I don't know if that 3rd pack was a bug as well. I haven't seen like a you know a clarification from the team that explains my personal experience.
A clarification. That's
nice.
a Vibes pun.
Nice. Claire, if you're listening, great work. No, but yeah, so like, I'm just going to wait for the dust to settle. I still have a few thousand gems in my account that will probably go towards another epic pack, another shot at a yellow mega. But also, man, these digital promos, they're just they're
cool.
just eating into it. Good segue, right?
Yeah. It just sounds like you're not meant to have a yellow Mega Penguin. I think you just got to accept that.
Yeah, I don't want to though.
Got to.
Yeah.
I'd really like to play 4.
Yeah.
Alas.
All right. So speaking of digital promo cards, there's been a bunch. There was a Flying Penguin promo card, Abstract Penguin just for connecting Abstract Wallet, Have a Philosophical Debate promo card, and a Mischief promo card. What do you guys think about the promo card so far?
Love them.
Yeah, I think they're really cool. I think it's a great idea.
Love them. And don't forget the Blue Wizard promo.
Oh, yeah.
We got that
happened
for
too.
free.
Right. Yeah. So in terms of the promo cards, what do you guys? What's your take on this? Is it just like a nice to have for collectors, or do you feel like are you looking at it from a monetary value if and when marketplace goes live? What's your take on this? Do you just like to have the variants?
I mean, personally, I love collecting cards,
Hmm.
and it helps when each of the cards, like especially the groovy foil variants, they're just stunning.
Yeah, they look really cool.
Like the Mischief, I've only played it in a couple of games since I picked a few up, but when that hits the board, you notice. It's so nice. And yeah, I mean, as a secondary benefit down the line, do I think that these limited time promo cards will have, some amount of value in the future? Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, I'd say definitely. Like, there's definitely going to be people who are like in the market for every promo card, right? And if they haven't joined the game yet, then they have to buy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that take. Because for me, honestly, I'm the guy that plays 4 base copies, even if I have foil copies. I just want to play the regular, and then I like, I appreciate the promo cards, but if I have, let's say, only, a couple copies of the promo card and I have 4 of the base, I'd rather have 4 matching base than throw in a promo card. Although you're right, they do stand out and have that wow factor.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it is tough with the flying penguins there. If you're running flying penguin, you're probably running 4.
Hmm.
But with something like the Mischief or the philosophical debate, maybe you only run 2 of those or 3 of those in your list, and then you only need to pick up a couple. But yeah, no, I totally understand that uniformity over a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's generally positive. Like the only possible hole I could poke in them is like if you were like a dedicated content creator, right? And like Mischief looks notably different than normal Mischief. Maybe you don't want to deal with like the chat's questions about what is that card, and you go, "Oh, it's a Mischief. No, it's from like 2 years ago." Like in that scenario, you probably just run base card arts just so it's easier for people to follow. But that's like really grasping at straws, trying to find a negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. We content creators, we hate chat interaction.
Yes, exactly.
Mudman hates engagement.
Yeah, I don't want your questions. I just want your Twitch Prime.
or Pengu tips.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Speaking of promos, again, the team is just firing on all fronts. They have the physical promo cards, and I know Cautionfun, you mentioned how you love collecting cards. So physical promo cards that came out in-person events in February that I kept track of. Maybe you know more, but I saw a promo card for Success Penguin, which I thought looked pretty cool. A Lost in the Sauce promo card, physical promo card, which I thought also looked very good, the art on it, and then a Dragon Rider one. Uh, what do you guys think about that? And did I miss any?
What is the name of the purple saucy action? Is
Sick
that
pull.
sick pull? Yeah, the sick pull promo is the one that I think is the coolest looking. That being said, I haven't seen the Dragon Rider or the Success Penguin promo art, but the sick pull is a really cool.
Yeah, I think every single promo they've done so far is cool. I've been doing my best to collect as many as I can IRL. Um, I was lucky enough to collect a few myself. Others I've had to look on the secondary market for. Um, but yeah, I mean, they simply get it. Just every opportunity they have to just service the collector aspect of the community is that they take it and seem to be just killing it every single time. The Van X Success Penguin is awesome. I love the card Lost in the Sauce. Just I have an affinity for the Black Beanie Penguins, and yeah, the alt art there looks fantastic. And Dragon Rider Penguin, that is one of the best arts in the set, like pre-promo.
Yeah, I haven't seen the
You know what I
promo of
mean?
the Dragon Rider.
It's very nice, very classy.
I was actually bummed on that. I wanted to bring up the Dragon Rider card when we were in the city and like we could speak to Claire, because like that card's from Neverending Story, which that's the reference, which is a movie that I think is really funny. It's also like 20 years old and like isn't particularly popular. So I wanted to know if like does she like that movie? Did she just draw a dragon and go, oh, that kind of looks like Falcor? I'll dive into it.
We'll have to see if we can get Claire on the podcast. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I will say though, Mudman, regarding Never Ending Story, there was a reference to the Never Ending Story in Stranger Things. So that could have brought some relevance back to it.
You think it got the Stranger Things bump? That's legitimate.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but from the examples you guys, I haven't seen the purple saucy one, or I might have missed it, but I'll have to look for that one because I try to keep track of all the, just seeing the different
That was
news.
that was one of the first ones
Yeah,
to come out
yeah,
there.
it's a little subtle. It looks a lot like the normal sick pull, except for the penguin's holding a vibes card.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yeah, I believe that was a CGC collab.
Yeah, okay. Tell us a little bit. You mentioned Caution Fund that you're, trying to do your best to collecting these physical promos. Tell us a little bit how that is going. Like, what do you know, how are you tracking these
Um,
down? What are you doing to source these?
I mean, so a couple of them, I was lucky enough to attend IRL events where they were giving out promos. Um, Mudman and I attended a Learn to Play event that was going on during New York City Comic Con, and we got two promos there. Correct?
Yep.
Yeah, there are two different NYCC promos. Was able to get those in person, when the booster boxes, the physical booster boxes, first went live, a lot of everybody from the biggest online distributors to my local game store like 10 minutes away, anybody seemingly who was selling first edition booster boxes had a buy a box promo card where you received a promo card for every box you purchased. So I had my budget that I was ready to spend on physical boxes, and rather than get them all from one place, I was incentivized to order two from this distributor, two from this distributor, one from this distributor, just to get the promo cards. So I would say I probably acquired most of the rest via that route, and then a couple that I've picked up on eBay.
Okay. And how about have you been able to get any of the recent in-person event yet, or are you like hunting for them, or have deal setups?
So I have one trade set up for when I attend the Hartford regional.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be. There's only two of the promo cards that I have like tradable extras of, and yeah, I'm going to trade away one of my extras for one of the promos that I don't have yet.
Nice.
Um, Past that though, yeah, like I wish I was able to attend. Where was it? Like Hong Kong or wherever the Dragon Rider and Lost in the Sauce promos were given out. Couldn't make it, unfortunately. And I believe the Van X Success Penguin was at a booth at NFT Paris,
Yes,
and
correct.
yeah, wasn't able to make it out there either. But any event in the New York City or Greater Tri-State area, uh, yeah, I'll be there. If there's a promo card, I'll be there.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, I like the Vanek Success Penguin just because it doesn't have that bowl cut. The bowl cut just gets to me on the regular Success Penguin. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I do think the bowl cut is ugly, but I wouldn't recognize Success Penguin without it.
Oh, you'll have to check out the card, Mudman.
It's a pretty cool hat.
Yeah, I'm very surprised to hear it doesn't have the classic coconut head.
Yeah, yeah, you'll have to. You'll be surprised when you watch the podcast back. All right. Yeah. Speaking of in-person events, I think another thing the team's doing well is they've set up a bunch of learn to play events tied in with the Star City Games convention tour. And you mentioned,
Yeah.
yeah, and you mentioned Connecticut, but I think throughout they're going to multiple cities, right?
Oh yeah, all over the place. If you follow Roland Chang on Twitter, you
Hmm.
can keep up with where they're at.
Yeah, I think that's a great opportunity for people that's throughout the different geographical areas to attend in-person event. And if they're already playing online, they have sort of a duty to teach the other players there. Hopefully, they could onboard more players.
Yeah, proliferate the penguin.
Right on, right on. Next update, man, there's just so many updates. The expansion set. Yeah, the expansion set. So Legend of the Lils, I think they're planning on a Q3 release. Thoughts on that?
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, super stoked. I thought Q4 at the earliest in my wildest dreams, but yeah, I mean, if it's Q3, that's awesome for so many reasons. It's we only have a couple of months left to really figure out this meta, and when it comes to the world tournament, there, I have to assume that the new set's going to be legal. So
Yeah, most likely, and that'll be cool.
yeah,
Yeah, we don't really know anything about the next set. We heard there may be relic removal.
Mm.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, that was gonna be my guess was relic removal, um, and my other guess was possible more hand destruction. I know Mudman knows we love Cutthroat Insight, but I think more hand destruction because we only have that one red card that says, heads or tails, destroy a, if it's tails or whatever, destroy a card, or opponent has to discard a card. So those were my two guesses. Was
We
relic.
also
There's like keep digging, like the blue card where you look at your opponent's hand and you get rid of a non-penguin.
All
I
right,
think that's all of them.
right on. What do you guys are you guys strategizing yet on how to plan for the expansion in terms of acquiring physical or digital?
Man, I don't know what I'm gonna do because like part of me, like I know like you and Caution have saved up a bunch of like in-game credits and whatnot. I've been opening up all the packs I could in prepper or in hopes of getting more What Twists.
Uh,
But like if they're gonna be doing a new Lil set with presumably meta impactful cards, then like maybe I stop spending my coins on packs and I only use the Pack of Palooza packs to look for my What Twists. It's a real tough situation because like I want What Twist, I want yellow Mega Penguins, but I need the coinage for the Lil Penguins. It's a real tough situation.
Yeah, hopefully we can route some of our season 0 Pengu rewards into big packs or little packs, whatever you prefer.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, as far as I have my physical collection built out. as long as survives a lot doesn't become too relevant, I should be able to build all the decks I need. And then as far as the digital game is concerned, yeah, like at this point, hopefully I can get Yellow Mega via Epic Packs or the secondary market, and I can just direct all of my play earnings towards filling out my little collection.
How's your regular collection looking, Mudman, in terms of just the base set?
As far as like IRL cards are concerned, there's like a lot of stuff I don't have. For the digital game, I have like there are certain epics that I don't have 4 copies of. Most of them are bad epics, like the yellow penguin whose name is like not Neapolitan, but that's what it always reminds me of. I only have like 1 of him. I only have 1 survives a lot, but like I have 4 green mega penguins. I have 3 or 4 of all the other color mega penguins except yellow. Like as far as rares are concerned, I think, and besides What a Twist, I have pretty much all the rares I need. So like my digital collection feels pretty good, except for the What a Twist and the yellow megas.
And he's got 2 good buddies to borrow cards from for IRL stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. I think the card you're talking about was the Pangulon, right, Mudman?
Yeah, something like that.
That's the culprit.
Okay.
It's my least favorite card to open because like I see Epic, I get excited, I flip it, I see the Pudge, I go, oh my god, and then I see the art and I go, ah.
Yeah, see, I've only opened that card 1 time. Whereas Yellow Mega Penguin I've opened twice, so totally different.
Yeah. I believe I have 9 Nepengulons.
9 Nepengulons. Oh, and speaking of 9 Nepengulons, shout out to Rid. He released a pretty good tweet asking people which cards they have the most of. I saw Cautionfun, you had that 1-drop red penguin, right?
Yeah, Contemplation Penguin.
Yep.
50 some odd copies.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, mine was the Extrovert Penguin. And then I didn't see Mudman respond, but I'm going to be expecting.
Yeah, I haven't looked through my collection to see what I'm most abundant in. I know for epics, I'm most abundant in Chobopolis. I have like 7 of those and like 3 foils.
Chub whale.
Yep. Yeah, so I think in terms of the digital expansion set, and you guys mentioning missing a few key base sets still, I think hopefully maybe we might be surprised by the team by the time the Lil's expansion set release, or maybe even the end of year season comes up. Maybe who knows? Maybe trading.
Oh
yeah, trading would be awesome.
Be so ideal.
Yeah. I'm not expecting it, but again, I would say I would not be surprised if it was dropped already.
Yeah, I think I read something on one of the Vibes Discord channels about like trading being in the works.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember much information. I think a team member said it. So I don't know, maybe trading in the future. Maybe I'm getting my wires crossed with Pokemon Pocket, but who knows?
Well, yeah. No, I think there's been mention of trading. The time has been not yet locked in, but I think just the way the team has been delivering. Again, not expecting anything because they haven't committed to anything, but wouldn't be surprised if they just released it on us and like, oh, you guys can trade.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, and then we kind of talked about this already, but a little bit more details regarding Play a Friend feature, opening up the door for digital tournaments. I also saw a post from the team talking about additional pathways to the World Championship in the form of digital tournament qualifiers. I don't have the exact quote of when that happened, but I remember reading it and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know any of the details about that. I think it'd be awesome if they did like online tournament qualifiers, and like they're definitely going to have avenues where they need to get more players for their world tournament, right? Like if the plan is just to take everybody from the top 8 and then people who win or who do well in like their IRL tournaments, right? Like if like Laffy or BBQ or Top Hat Panda Magician get top 8 again, then those are just open slots they're going to have to figure out a way to fill. So like online tournaments could be a good way of doing that.
I believe that if somebody who's previously qualifies would qualify again, it just goes to the next eligible person for like whatever that event is.
That makes sense.
Maybe it goes to an additional championship point spot. I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, giving people as many avenues as possible to qualify digitally, just sounds super reasonable. There's no there's
There's
no
no barrier to entry.
Yeah, exactly. No room and board to consider travel or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, also, IRL events are fantastic too. So yeah, why not do both and as many as possible?
Yeah, that'll definitely be exciting to see digital tournaments. It'll be a first for the Vibes game and community. So, maybe a TS tournament in the future. Wink, wink.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'd like to do that. That sounds fun.
it's inevitable.
All right, all right, great, great, great. Okay, well, let's switch gears a little bit. Talk about the end of season 0 and the recap of how that went. We'll talk about how it ended, but first, there was since we have Mudman here, I wanted to talk about how fairly late, not at the very end, but very late into the season 0, Mudman unleashed Caffeine Green Mega Penguin on the leaderboard there and caused quite some chaos. So talk us through that, Mudman.
The green caffeine deck has been like a fun evolution in the meta to watch, because like when it first like came onto the scene, it was extremely good, right? It was like all the decks that were being played in the meta were just like had a very hard time dealing with it, right? And then people started modifying their decks to be able to counter it, and then the caffeine deck started becoming less popular, and now there's a lot of counters to the caffeine floating around, and you run into it like fairly rarely on ladder, at least in my experience. Maybe as I get higher in the ranks, it'll be more abundant again. But I think it's just like a cool microcosm for just how card game metas work. It was really good for a couple of weeks. People figured out ways around it, and then it became like not exactly worth playing. Right? Like I think Laffy always puts it in good context, where the strategy is extremely linear. So once you know what they're going to do, you can play around it. And playing around it's not hard. It's often just like having a single what a twist.
Right. So speaking of that deck,
Yeah.
sorry, anything to add, Caution Fun, on that?
No, just fully agree.
So maybe Mudman. So we do have some people that in the community that are into deck building and such. Like, just I know, and then you're still, I believe, going to make a green caffeine video. But talk us through how came up with that. Was it like were you just at home eating some corn dogs and you're like, oh, look at this with my coffee, or were were you just looking at your physical cards with caution and bonk? Like, how did that happen?
No, the inspiration was being jealous of Caution and Bonk, because when I first started playing the green caffeine deck, I only had 2 copies of Keep Clam, and I only had 1 copy of What a Twist, and I had no Lucas Saves the Penguins. And Caution and Bonk were both playing Control Green that had like 4 copies of all those cards. And I was playing it during the Play Whatever You Want event, and it was fun. But then when that event ended, I was like, I'd like to keep playing green. And I went through my collection. I didn't have anything to do the green control thing. And then I remembered Rid saying that caffeine doesn't affect green mega penguin, so I figured I'd put 4 of each in there. And I thought it'd be pretty bad, but then I tried to queue against the AI and I screwed up and played a real person and I crushed them. And then I was just like, oh, I guess I'll play till I lose, and I didn't lose.
Okay, okay. So it was part science and part art, and part mudman magic.
Yep.
Mostly Mudman magic, if in my objective third party opinion.
Plenty.
It was fun. The first couple of days of caffeine was really fun. It was the same thing would happen every time. Is you would play the green mega penguin, and then you'd go to action time, and then the opponent would pause for like a solid 15 seconds, I assume, trying to choose him, and then going, wait a minute, this is stupid. And then they start roping.
Right. And then they also see the caffeine come down, and all of a sudden all their penguins are flopped, right?
Yep, all the penguins are flopped, and then they're thinking, okay, all they do is play a couple more penguins, then the popcorn comes down, and the popcorn doesn't go away.
Yep, yep, yep. Cool. Yeah, that was a nice addition during the grind to the end of season 0. I think it was it turned the meta on its head. But as you said, things are constantly changing as people learn how to play against the deck. So that's the good thing about the game is still evolving. Um, a couple of bugs that we noticed at the end of the season 0. There was a bug that surfaced, I believe, with caffeine itself and Bunkus, right, guys?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, the caffeine bug was if the owner of caffeine doesn't flop a penguin, then their opponent also wouldn't be allowed to flop a penguin, which puts you into a lot of moral dilemmas because sometimes you got to flop your own penguin so your opponent has the option to flop your penguin or else you're cheating.
Hmm. And the Bunkus bug?
Yeah, which one? No. Yeah, there was a bug there for a while where it just wasn't counting the rods spent to play it. So you had people playing things that they shouldn't have been able to play. And yeah, luckily that one's been fixed. That said, it seems to have been replaced with a prosperous penguin bug, or maybe that was just running in parallel and was overshadowed by the bunkus bug. But yeah, currently philosophical, or am I saying that right? Not philosophical, prosperous penguin. You're supposed to be able to select a 2 pudge action in your ice and play it for the rest of that cycle. However, it allows you to play that action, as I understand it, during any future cycle, so long as you have the pudge to play it, which, super OP in that condition. And yeah, definitely on their list, though. Definitely a known bug, and I wouldn't be shocked if it's fixed within 48 hours.
Yeah, speaking of fixing bugs, I know they had dropped this patch update recently, but which they reverted, and I haven't kept track if that patch has now been pushed out or not. But it had to do with the ice. There was a problem with the ice, and I actually noticed it too because I was playing with Misplaced for a little bit, and there was times when the ice wasn't showing up. But I think related to that, my point is with that patch was I did notice a bug too, kind of similar to the Bunkus bug, where I had this one turn where I didn't notice it because I was just playing it, but then I ended up putting a bunch of penguins on the board, because I was kind of like just autopiloting. I noticed I was like, wait, my fish cost isn't getting reduced. So I think it was similar to the Bunkus bug, but that's been I'm not sure if it was specific to that recent patch, but I haven't seen it since. But obviously, I went to the Discord and filed the bug report right away and said, hey, this just let me do something I shouldn't be able to. So hopefully, we're expecting community to act in good faith in that manner. Let's all work together to get the product to the best possible shape it could be.
100%, yeah.
Right on. Okay, so let's talk about the end of season 0. I know there was some grinding, rewards, pro points were given out, lots of packs, the Blue Wizard promo that you mentioned, a Baron sketch, play mat, Pengu. You want to take that away, Cautionfun?
Oh, sure, man. Yeah, I mean, we knew about a bunch of those things leading up to it, right? I mean, I was already excited just for the pro points and the prize packs and the Pengu token, and vying for world's qualification, obviously. So yeah, I mean, just in the tradition of under promising and over delivering, the Baron sketch, what an awesome idea! I can't believe how I'm just so stoked. I can't wait for that. The dummy thick playmat, the preview that we've been shown looks awesome. Definitely something I plan on bringing to Hartford if they'll let me. And yeah, I mean the Blue Wizard promos were a surprise. Possibly my favorite promo so far. Just again, stunning artwork. Claire, you've done it again. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They just continue to exceed expectations.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how the distribution goes for the playmats and most of the playmats, like because there's only 16 of the sketch barons, but like man, it's got to be tough to send that many playmats all over the place. I'm excited to see how long it takes to get the playmats in people's hands.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point. I didn't even think about that. You're right. That's yeah. I mean, their intern's going to be busy,
Oh, definitely.
right? You want to?
I imagine after this they get like a dedicated like FedEx team where they have like a point guy to get like extra deals and stuff because they're gonna send stuff all over the place. Like I know there are German players who were in the top 10, American players in the top 10. There are probably people in Asia in the top 10. It's gonna be all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah. Just the fact that they're, taking it on in any capacity. And, just literally just several things they simply didn't have to do.
Yes.
And, yeah, just, I certainly appreciate it. And, for all future seasons, for all prospective competitors, that's just, there's more to strive for.
Yeah, they definitely set a high bar right off the bat with season 0 here.
For sure.
And you mentioned it. At season 0, top players qualified to the world. So congratulations to you, Cautionfun. You qualified for that. Talk us through how the last week or so. How intense was it? Like, what did you sacrifice?
Thank you. Really, just sleep and most of my IRL responsibilities. Thankfully, I have a wonderful support system around me. So I was able to do so. I dedicated a lot of time and energy and effort, and just barely made it by the skin of my teeth. That said, a lot of that had to do with, or I think a good amount of that last 2-day sweating had to do with the IRL event that Mudman and I attended on the penultimate day of season 0.
Yeah.
That was a basically an exhibition tournament,
like a mock tournament.
Yeah, that was hosted at the OCAP Games headquarters in New York City. Beautiful office. It was so cool. They have just rare antiquities from the world of trading cards, just everywhere you look. And of course,
and that's a double entendre because they had an uncut sheet of antiquities Magic cards.
Yep. And and all the Pudgy Penguin merch you can imagine, of course. It was an awesome atmosphere. Team did a great job making us feel welcome. Big shouts to them for that. That said, when we got on the train to head to New York City to attend that event, I was in second place.
Mm-hmm.
That was with about 30 hours left, 32, 33 hours left in season 0. And by the time we arrived at the event, I had dropped to either third or fourth.
Yeah, I think fourth.
By the time I got home at about 3 a.m, I had dropped to 6th. And when I woke up the next morning, I was in 8th. So, just clearly, really the top 10 from season 0 were just grinding their hearts out for the last 48 hours there. So, in hindsight, maybe not the smartest move for me to have, set aside 15, 20 hours for the event and some rest afterwards. But
evidently it was the smartest move because you qualified for Worlds and you went to the mock tournament.
Yeah. So, I did get my cake twice.
Yes.
As the saying goes.
You killed 2 cakes with 1 stone. That's the saying.
That's the saying. And I'm just super, super thankful that it didn't bite me too hard. But yeah, definitely sweated a lot that last 16 hours.
Yeah. Again, as Mudman said, it worked out. You made it, so congratulations again. And then you did mention.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then you mentioned the IRL tournament. A lot of people are curious about that. So walk us through. So you start from the beginning. You woke up what time? You took the train. Like how was that day like?
So I woke up, between 6 and 7 a.m. local time. Had my coffee. I did my morning routine, and started playing Vibes around 9 a.m. until Mudman got there. But about 1, continued to play almost a little too late. We were about a minute away from missing the train. But yeah, played online until about 3 p.m. And yeah, like I said, was in second place when I stopped. And then we went to the train station and, got into this. The train, New Jersey Transit, was having an off day. And, what should have been like an hour, 25-minute train ride ended up being like 2:10.
Yeah.
Wow. And so we were scrambling to get there. We were the last people in the building.
But they did wait for us.
Yeah, just sheer dumb luck. But then we got there, had an absolute blast.
Yeah, really fun.
Left the headquarters around 11:30, caught a train, and got home at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, no, that's a great. Sounds like an exciting day. Was your? I guess tell me more a little bit on the specifics on the IRL in-person playing, since it was sort of their first IRL tournament. Like, how did playing physically there against someone face to face? How did that compare to? Because you both us three have spent a lot of times online digitally grinding. So how did that compare?
It feels really different. Not having your turns automated for you, like you feel it throughout the entire game. Like the first game I played, like the first hurdle I ran into was like I was setting up my board and I drew my 5 cards and I was like, do I need 5 cards? Is it a 7-card hand? Is it a 5-card hand? Like I've never had to know myself. It's like that was a bummer. I think I used my sneaky penguin maybe once, and I must have played it like 10 times.
That was a big one. Mudman and I both came away saying, 80+% of the turns I forgot to activate my sneaky penguin's ability.
I forgot to buff my green mega penguin a bunch of times. It's hard to remember you're at the start of action time events.
Yeah.
And start of turn for sure. That said, I was pleasantly surprised in a couple of ways. I thought it would take much, much longer than online games. But really, outside of my Bunkus matchups, all of the games were very quick. It's actually much quicker when you're there in person.
Except the Bunkus, which in stark contrast takes way longer.
Yeah, insanely long. Those games were very annoying. A lot of wait, how much is in your ice? A lot of wait, how big is your Bunkus? A lot of wait, how many cards are left in your deck?
Yeah, and then also a lot of like, I discarded my what? Do I discard the card from the what first, or do I keep going with the Bunkus? And then there's like that came up a handful of times.
Yeah. So they'll have their work cut out for them. When it comes to like, some kind of timer system.
Yeah, the timer thing is going to be really weird because like my first game was against a Bunkus player who had never played Disbunk before. And like for the most part, the game was normal. We had very average length time until his final turn, which took, I wish I timed the turn. Like it definitely took more than 15 minutes for his turn to proceed. If you told me it took 25 minutes, I wouldn't be surprised. But the game was very normal until it was like literally me just sitting there, like looking at the walls, trying to do anything to entertain myself as my opponent just continuously counted Bumpkus things for at least 15 minutes.
I was just going to say, I was going to ask you how you entertained yourself for that 15 to 25 minutes. Did you start juggling?
No, there's a picture on Twitter. It almost looks like someone's taking a picture of me trying to look angry, and I'm pretty sure it was during that turn where I'm just staring at something near the camera, and I'm looking very angry, and I'm not looking at the card game at all. And I don't feel angry in the picture, but boy, do I look angry, and boy, am I clearly not paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah, but to that end, it's kind of tough though because like you can't really, lose focus too much. Not just to stay in the game there, but I mean Bunkus has to be the easiest deck to make a mistake with.
Yes,
like miscounting one way or another, sequencing wise. So like I felt compelled to pay attention to my opponent's whole turn. Just making sure everything's above board. But yeah, I mean, like it can't. both of my Bunkus games, it was like I would say I probably spent somewhere between 6 and 8 minutes on my turns, and my opponent took like 30 plus. And I can't think of like any other like game where like you can have a time disparity like that.
Yeah,
So,
it's pretty. Yeah, and like also like I don't know how to fix it.
Right,
And,
exactly.
And
tough.
it's definitely not like a BizBunk specific problem. Like that's definitely the biggest offender. But like you were playing like that red mega deck like a week or two ago, and you had a turn online that took over 15 minutes.
Yeah,
and that was in the client. So like in real life, that would have taken forever.
And that said, I played Spencer. Spencer was running that red mega archetype, and there were definitely some one-sided turns, but that's a great example of a matchup that was actually much quicker than I've experienced online. Mostly because online, the way if you want to put together an again turn, you play your again, your opponent needs to hit space, then you pass, and then they pass again, and then like it's good, right? Whereas like IRL, you can just play the again and be like, do you have anything?
Mm-hmm.
No, and it's over.
Yeah, it's the same with like something like Buddy Up, which is like miserable to play online, which is like very seamless to play in real life.
Wait, you have to talk to the other person?
Which does get awkward sometimes.
Oh no!
You don't need to make eye contact, Professor. If it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Phew. You can use text to speech on your phone.
Yeah. I'll bring cue cards and a Sharpie and write my messages.
That's good. Miming. Yeah. Why not?
So regarding the in person, so yeah, you mentioned that I guess it'll be up to the. I wonder how the the zonal tournament and the world tournament will pan out. It's still down the line a few months, but I guess like you mentioned, Sneaky Penguin or Mega Penguin, like your own buffs, like in an actual in-person tournament, there's no judge telling you, hey, you need to do that. It's up to the player, right? So if they miss that action, they miss it.
Yeah, I imagine. I'm pretty sure that's how it works with Magic. Like if you don't notice your ability, like your opponent can tell you like, hey, you missed it, but if they don't tell you, it's not on them.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, each of the times that I forewent my Sneaky Penguin's ability, I was just like, it's too late. Like I brought the card up to my hand, at that point, I have to keep it,
Yeah. And just real quick, tell me how the setup was. So you walk into their office, did they have cards set up for everybody, or did you have to bring your own cards? Did they have like just a locker full of cards, and you kind of like Kaiba, he opens up his briefcase and you just make your own deck?
We thought about, each of us thought about bringing our own Kaiba briefcase.
Yeah.
So we did bring our own decks. A lot of people did, but they did have decks for you to borrow if you were in need.
Yeah, like we said, we arrived like pretty late. I don't know if like when everyone arrived, if there was like an announcement like, hey, if you don't have a deck, come pick one up. Like I know that like a lot of the players that did borrow decks, they were like friends with Spencer or Roland or Claire or somebody. So like maybe they were given their decks beforehand. I don't know for sure, but I do know that some players got to use like company decks, for lack of a better word.
Okay, that's cool. And so we're talking about the decks. You mentioned Spencer's red deck, which I believe came in first, but officially because he's an employee, you came in first, right? Cautionfun?
No, by all means, he came in first.
Okay.
He was the only undefeated participant.
Okay.
And it was a Swiss-style tournament, so you were constantly playing people with the same record as you. And I believe a big part of the reason that I came in second was because my only loss was to Spencer.
Okay.
And I had quite a few wins against other people in the top 8. So, yeah, it was also extremely generous on Spencer's part to remove himself from the prize pool period. There were also packs that were given out as rewards in addition to some trophy cards that were just regular Vibes cards, but they were illustrated by Claire. Spencer removed himself from the from prize eligibility, so as the second place finisher I was entitled to first place prizes and ended up going home with the grail.
So the price,
awesome.
Yes, the price was a special card, packs, anything else?
That was it.
Yeah, that's it.
And a great time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Also, as many little snacks as you could eat.
Yep, bottles of water.
Which ones were your favorite snacks?
I liked the Kit Kats and the gummies.
I brought my own snacks.
So did I. I had a big bag of cashews, and I brought extra Red Bulls.
I brought a protein bar.
Oh, someone took it seriously.
And then we celebrated with Auntie Anne's afterwards.
Yep. And Caution saw a naked homeless man.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh my God.
we assume homeless.
Was that the real
Caution
place?
saw a naked man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
In the bathroom at Penn Station, just showering in the sink.
It was magical.
Yeah, maybe sad and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
New York City, baby.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Sorry.
No. It's part of the experience.
Sorry for bringing up the naked homeless man.
It's part of. No, you gave me a visual, so I was just like, oh wow, okay. I'm sure everybody else is having that same visual right now too.
Sorry, everybody else.
He was buff.
You don't know that.
I want the visuals to be more enjoyable for everybody.
Well, no, I started with a visual of Mudman like on Halloween night stuffing his face with Kit Kats and gummies. And all of a sudden, it flashed to a naked man. So I was just like, whoa. I was not ready. I was not ready.
But you gotta expect the unexpected in the card game world.
Yeah.
What a twist.
What exactly? What a twist. So tell us about your deck, Caution. Looks like you brought like a mill with some what a twist and popcorn.
Yeah, so 2 days prior, when I was on the tail end of the Season 0 grind, I was having a great win rate against a whole cornucopia of decks, except for Bizbunk. Bizbunk seemed to be about a 50-50 matchup for me.
Okay.
Regardless of what I played, it seemed to just be if they found their stuff, they won. So I was like, I'm sick of tired of this. How's about I figure out a deck that can run 4 Misplace and at least 1 Jealous Penguin, and just try to make it work, in however many other matchups I can. And so I put that list, a version of the list I ended up bringing to the tournament. I put it together, brought it on the ladder, with the sole intention of just trying to 100% my Bizbunk matchups. And I was just really pleasantly surprised with how it played against everything else. Especially, I thought it would get blown out of the water by Yellow Zoo, whether it's the Wild Knight variant or Yum Yum variant or, just any aggro yellow list I was worried about. And
then you played Popcorn, and it was cool.
Yeah. Popcorn goes a long way, and I was able to find my send it too hards frequently enough to, I felt like I had a chance going into most other matchups, and I felt really, really good going into every Bizbunk game. And I figured, hey, it's like, this is despite the fact that it's a mock tournament, it's still a tournament. I'd imagine people bring Bizbunk. And I'd like to feel really comfortable in those matchups. So ended up bringing it, and
yeah, there was a lot of Bizbunk.
Yeah, there was. It was half of my wins were against Bizbunk.
Yeah, you just mentioned something interesting. So I wonder how other tournaments will work out. Where let's say you bring this deck and then another deck, and then you're facing Mudman next, and he likes Green Mega Penguin. I wonder if how deck lists and registering deck and switching decks and deciding right at the start of the match, I'm going to go with this deck kind of thing. I wonder how that's going to work, or if it'll even have.
So it'll probably be similar to what they did here, where at the start of the tournament, everybody had to take a deck spread pick.
Okay.
Where you lay your deck out on the table, and you had to take a picture and send it to either Spencer or Roland. So yeah, from there on out, you've locked it in. No changes can be made. I would assume they'll do something similar. Maybe they do like a Yu-Gi-Oh style sideboard where you can bring 5 other cards to swap in. But yeah, I doubt it. It'll probably be pre-submitted 52 card lists.
Yeah, I imagine the only change would be instead of a photo in the future, there'd probably be a match slip where you, instead of taking pictures, you write 4x Flying Penguin.
Yeah.
And then you give that to a judge or something.
Okay.
Or maybe you register online beforehand like Pokemon does it.
Oh, Okay, cool, cool. So you said you grinded this or you tried this deck on the ladder, Caution Fun, but you also played it in person in the first mock tournament. Any changes that you picked up from those experiences on your deck, or is this like a good list that you have now?
Oh man. So like I should preface all this with saying like prior to this, like literally like 3 days before the end of season zero, blue was one of two colors that I just like had not explored in any capacity. The other being purple. Um, Literally just kind of like dismissed it from the beginning. I'm not typically like a middle style player, um, but yeah, like I said, the moment I felt like the moment called for it, I was running into a little too much biz bunk, and yeah, just like really really enjoyed it. Uh, that said, I'm still learning the ins and outs of the deck. I'm still trying to nail down the counts. Uh, Still trying to figure out, what's worth including. There are some cards there that I'm waiting for clarification on, like certain interactions, uh, to see whether or not they're worth including and how many copies. Yeah, all this is just a long-winded way of saying like I still have so much to learn as far as piloting a blue deck is concerned. So yeah, definitely. I'm 100% sure it's not fully optimized.
Okay, so more to come, and a little plug to the TST Discord. Come join us. We share deck lists and strategies and gameplay. And if you want to keep up on Caution Fun's adventure into Blue List, I'm sure he'll be happy to share his findings there.
Yeah, help me cook, and also yeah, big shouts to the TST community. How many of the top 10 are TST Discord members? Is it half?
Yeah, a
It's
lot.
close to half.
Yeah, and not even top
It's
10.
awesome.
Yeah, expanding out to the top 16. They got the Baron sketch. Shout out to Rid for stealth being a pro and getting one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
did he end at 16? Because I know he was around 16 the
He
last time
was
I checked,
he was
like
15.
at the end of the season.
He was 15.
15,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Yeah, on the
yeah.
cusp. Big shout to Duke as well.
Yep,
Uh, yeah, Bong, the homies, all of them. Top Hat, BBQ.
for sure.
Yeah,
Laffy.
yeah,
Oh
of
yeah,
course.
Laffy.
King
Yeah,
Laffy.
yeah, for sure.
I didn't know we were talking about people who have earned buys already. Sorry,
Uh,
person who
yeah,
Person
ha-
earned
who
by.
has earned buys already. Congrats to Laffy, man.
yeah. First,
Legendary performance.
yeah, first one
He got a
ever.
great new haircut. I don't know if you saw his newest video. Great new haircut for Laffy.
Oh, okay. I'm sure he'll be happy to hear that, Mudman.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Yeah. So everyone that hasn't seen Laffy's new haircut, please check out his new video on his YouTube. He's very active on his YouTube and on Twitter. Definitely a good guy to
Yeah,
support.
you also might learn about vibes, but yeah, come for the haircut, stay for the vibes.
Yes.
Right, right on. Okay, so let me move on to Mudman. Tell us about your list. And I will start off by saying that your deck list picture, Mudman. I don't know. I guess if you took this, yours is the only one that shows an empty chair. Everybody else focused on the cards, but your picture actually shows an empty chair. Half the picture is an empty chair.
Sure. I don't remember that part. I remember having a hard time getting all the cards in frame. It sounds like I didn't do a great job setting up the frame. But my deck was fairly normal. It was a caffeine deck that I made with the cards I had available to me.
Hmm.
Um, I think I was the only person at the tournament that played a foil Mega Penguin. So that didn't pay off for me. I didn't win. So I shouldn't have done that.
Still a flex.
But
I don't know. Like all in all, it was pretty good. I didn't do very well against the Bunkus matchups. Like when the tournament ended, I came to the realization that I think I played one inspiring story the entire day, which was a bummer. Made my popcorn penguins way weaker. But like ultimately, I think it was pretty cool.
yeah, and then
It was really cool playing with 4 Water Twists. I haven't done that before.
yeah, because you don't have that digitally at all. So yeah, you got to
Yep.
live out a dream. You did you also include the survives a lot?
Oh yeah, I had the one copy of Survives a lot for the mirror match, so that you can flop my big Survives lot. I can unflop it with What a Twist, and then be bigger than a green Mega Penguin or like a little Bismo, not Bismo, a little Bunkus.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool addition there. Thanks for sharing your deck there. So about to wrap up here. Are you guys looking forward to the America's Zonal yet? Or are you guys focused on season one? What's the focus for now?
Uh, Definitely, I want to at least grind up to like the cusp of dummy thick.
Mm,
Ideally, in like the next week or so. Hopefully, we get some more information on how the ELO scores are calculated and how the time decay aspect affects things. In lieu of that, though, yeah, we'll probably just keep grinding until April and then start to focus on the tournament. But realistically, in the back of my head, I'm already thinking about the tournament. I'm so excited.
I'm in the opposite mindset. I'm gonna focus harder on the grind for top eight in the digital space, and then
mm.
hopefully when if I solidify a good spot in the top eight when the tournament happens, I can start putting more thought process into winning the tournament. But it seems like qualifying for worlds through like the online space is more realistic, because I can devote like X amount of hours every single day to
Right.
trying to be good. Whereas with the tournament, you have to like, succeed just one day.
Yeah.
Like maybe I get really unlucky. Maybe I got food poisoning for the event. Who knows? But like for the grind is concerned, I can just play X amount of hours a day and keep refining whatever I'm doing.
What if you get food poisoning?
Well, then I'll just play on the toilet.
That's dedication.
It's another
You don't have a little table in your bathroom?
When mobile, in case food poisoning.
another visual. Thank you, Mudman. Now, every time someone runs into you on the ladder and they see the Mudman, they're going to be thinking, "Is this guy at the toilet right now?"
Probably not.
It's a different mud.
Probably not.
Oh man. Okay. But yeah, I think you're right on, Mudman. A good idea with focusing for that top eight in season one. I think there's familiarity with the meta right now. Eight of the top players are out of the running, so it's all yours.
Yeah, hopefully.
Cool, cool. All right. Anything else, guys? Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, how about you? Are you going to try for top eight this season?
Yes. So thanks for asking. So, season zero, I kind of got to dummy thick and then took it easy. Just wanted to focus on, help making content and kind of messing around. I had a different goal, which was with the content world, trying to grind up the gold. And for me, mathematically, it made more sense to grind out AI games because it was giving almost half of what a ranked game was. And especially when the meta shifted to green mega caffeine and it was a hard counter to my deck, and I just felt like, you know, I, it wasn't the right situation for it. So, anyways, yeah, I grinded out 100k gold was my thing. And and then I saw, and also I was doing the numbers on the top players and how much dedication and hours they were putting in. And I was like, yeah, no, no way. People were averaging, yeah, 20, 30, 50 wins per day, which I still don't understand how I'd be able to do that. But yeah, I think, Mudman, with your idea now, definitely start early, build that cushion early on. But yeah, for me, I think season one, we'll see where we end up. For now, I'm just playing casually, taking my time. But I do have, I do want to get to at least dummy thick in the short term, and then we'll take it from there. Um, yeah, I don't know if I have the grind in me. That's the only thing.
Well, yeah, well, like if season zero is any implication, like everyone in the top eight grinded really hard the
Yes,
past couple of days. Like I remember like I was at rank like 22 or something, like 2 or 3 weeks before the season ended, and I thought like, oh yeah, if I play a couple of days and keep just steady climbing, maybe I can get the top eight. But then like everyone who was at the top eight was playing like 8 hours a day. Like the chance of grinding at the end of the season or like the chances of raising your spot dramatically at the end of the season seems very challenging.
agreed.
Unless you're dropout, in which case you can do it easily.
Yeah, yeah, he came from nowhere and just shot up to second or third place. I forgot which one it was, but yeah, that was pretty intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess my to answer the question, long term plan is just at least earn steady pro points, finishing in dummy thick, and hopefully within the top 100 at the least, and just stack up the pro points and see how we end up towards near the late half of the season, and we'll go from there.
I wish you the best of luck.
Oh, thank you. But it's gonna be all skill, no luck needed.
That's the spirit.
I'm gonna be shooting for a lot of luck. I'm gonna add that coin flip card to my deck. I'm gonna play it right when I see it.
Risk-taking penguin, yeah. When they zig, you zag, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but yeah. So I think Mudman, I'll be keeping an eye on you for season one. We're rooting for you to nab a top 8 spot.
Thank you. I'll try my best. Hopefully, you'll meet me in the top 8. Probably me and you in first and second, Laffy in third.
Don't forget Rid.
Yeah.
Rid in fourth, and then Rid overtakes Laffy on the last day, and the crowd goes wild.
Yep. Could happen. It could happen. Cool,
We're
fellas.
manifesting.
Yeah. Just say, and it will happen. Say it, and it will happen. Anything else, guys?
Thanks for doing this, Prof.
No, thank you both for coming along. There's definitely a lot of things we covered. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to this. Definitely we'll be making this a regular thing. We'll bring Mudman if he will be happy to grace us with his presence regularly, or if he likes the special guest.
If I'm invited, I'll come.
All right.
Yeah, thank you again. You're a very special guest.
Yeah,
the
definitely.
Mudman.
Thank you for having me.
Very special. And then we'll see if we could line up some other guests in the future.
That'd be sick.
Yep.
At Claire.
Oh, someone's been called out. All right. Well, thank you again. Thank you again, both of you. We'll say goodbye here, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Take it easy.
Yep, have a good one. Good vibes all around.
All vibes. Bye.